Kites started back in 1974 as a hang gliding school. It started out of a garage. John Harris, being the owner, started teaching people with a hang glider he had out here on the state park. Well, what's now a state park, it wasn't even a state park when he started. So Kitty Hawk Kites has been around for a while. Started out as one guy wanting to share his love of flight with everybody else, and it's built into this, largest hang gliding school in the world. So not only have we taught many more thousands of people than any other school in the United States. In fact, you could add all the schools in the United States together, all the students that they've taught, and we've still taught thousands more than they have. Hang gliding didn't start much earlier than 1974. The very first people who started flying hang gliders on their own in the late 60s really started taking off, so to speak, in the early 70s. John started the school here in 74, so he's been instrumental in the sport from the ground up. But it's also the preeminent place for knowledge and history, dating back through all the instructors and John Harris. And that's our place in hang gliding, in the history of hang gliding and the present day hang gliding. But the instructors themselves, go through that same experience. Everybody learns how to fly one step at a time. They learn the very first lesson, they keep on practicing, they get to the point where they're proficient as a pilot, and they go through a pretty regimented training program where they get to be proficient as an instructor, and then they start teaching people here how to fly. One of the neat things about the instructors here too is that they've got a lot of energy, mostly because they have to, because they're running around here on the sand dune in the heat of the summer, but they got a lot of energy, and they got a passion for a sport is unparalleled, so the level of enthusiasm and the level of expertise is unmatched. So we're just really fortunate to be able to have this situation where we can combine the perfect location and the perfect people to teach, and it's worked out great for us all these years. The location that we're able to fly in down here, what makes this school so unique is that we have the East Coast's largest sand dunes. We're flying out here on sand dunes that are up to 80 feet high. They have dunes that face every direction. So as a hang glider pilot, you need to launch and land into the wind. So it's good to have hills that face whichever way the wind's blowing. Well, the winds change, obviously, wherever you are, certainly here on the Outer Banks. So what we'll do is if the winds change out here, we just move to a different part of the hill. So the consistency of instruction here is unmatched, really. So we'll just fly in whatever the winds give us, we can come out here and fly. Now, the sand dunes themselves make it that much easier to fly because it's not intimidating. You're not flying on a cow pasture or some rocky field somewhere. So it makes it easy for students to get out here and realize that it's not going to be a big intimidating factor. If you screw up, you land in the sand, we stand you up, we dust you off, and you go back and do it again. If a big giant pile of sand to land in, so it's kind of tough to get hurt. The typical experience for a student is they're going to come out here after having gone through about an hour of ground school. Then they'll spend 2 hours out here on the dune where they get 5 flights. Now there's a lot of students, so it's not just one person. There's up to 20 people during a class. But those classes are split up so there's only 5 students per instructor. So what you'll do is you'll alternate on and off getting your flights in with the other students in the class. Now those flights are fairly low level. This is your first time at it, so we're going to keep you low and slow and keep you safe. Usually about 5 to 15 feet off the ground and fly about 50 yards or so. Kind of depends on the wind and how people are doing. But it's about the average first lesson experience. But what's interesting about it is that first lesson, once you've gone through it, you know how to fly a hang glider. I mean, you're not great at it yet. You're not practiced enough at it. But you know the controls of the glider. You know how you launch it. You know how you land it. Everything in between. So the base knowledge is there. From then on, it's just practice until it becomes second nature to you. So it's a beginner lesson, but you get a lot out of it for sure. Tandem hang gliding, now that's something that has really come into fashion here about over the past 15 years or so. So relative to the sport, it's fairly new. But basically what we do there is with the tandem operation, we'll put you in the glider with an instructor, take you up to a couple thousand feet. We do that behind an ultralight airplane, by the way. So we'll pull you up to a couple thousand feet. Then we'll release the line that got you up there. So now it's just you and the instructor in the glider, free flying around at altitude. Then you come back down and land. We have wheels on the glider. You'll roll in on wheels and land right there at the airport where you took off from. And that is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it is almost indescribable, because what you're doing is you're getting up there and flying around like a bird 2,000 feet in the air, and the views are incredible, the sensation is incredible. It's absolutely amazing, no doubt about it. We've had people tell us on multiple occasions it's the best thing they've ever done in their life, you know, and that's pretty high praise. The difference between the dune lesson and the tandem, that's one of the things that we try to figure out when people come in and sign up for a hang gliding lesson, because there's plenty of people, almost everybody actually, has dreamt of flying. They've had a dream of flying over buildings or flying over their home or whatever it is. So they come down here and they realize that that's our specialty, is teaching people to fly. You know, they come in and they want to do it. So we have to explain to them that we have the Tandem Program, or we have the Dune Program. Now the Dune Program, you get 5 flights that are fairly low level. Now those 5 flights though, you're in total control. So you're the only person in the glider flying down the hill. So every movement you make, the glider responds to you on the sand dune. When you do the tandem, you're in the glider with an instructor, and that instructor is doing the majority of the flying, although they'll let you fly it around some. Certainly you're not ready to fly all by yourself at 2,000 feet yet on your first day. So the instructor does a lot of the technical stuff while you're flying at 2,000 feet. So trying to figure out what people want to do, want out of their experience, is really what we work on when we're signing people up for the lessons. And the people that want to do the tandem oftentimes are the people that want to get that quick thrill. You know, they want to get up there and feel what it's like to be 2,000 feet in the air without any sort of, you know, airplane or parachute or anything like that, and just get that sort of breathtaking view. And people that go out here to the sand dune want to learn a little bit more about the controls of the hang gliders. They want to go through the ground school. They want to take that time and figure out how the glider works and so on and so forth. So, you know, people get out there and they do both most of the time. You know, most of the time people come out here, take a dune lesson once they figure out how the glider works, and they figure out that, hey, you know, this thing really does work. It's not dangerous. It's fairly easy. It's safe. Once they get that, then they'll decide, you know what, now I know how this thing works. I need to get up to 2,000 feet, and they'll go out and do a tandem afterward. Yeah, kids hang gliding lessons. It's fairly new for us. You know, there's a weight limit you need for hang gliding. The way you control a hang glider is by shifting weight around underneath the wing. So we need to have a minimum amount of weight underneath the wing in order to control the wing. Now, if you don't have that minimum weight, when you shift whatever little amount of weight that is, the glider may not respond to you. So up until recently, we haven't really offered any sort of kids lessons. Well, what we figured out is that we can offer a kids class where the children under 75 pounds can still get hooked into the glider, and we can have 2 of our instructors running along with them by their side, staying in contact with the glider, helping them guide and steer the glider down the hill their whole flight. And then at that point, you know, really it's just an age limit. You know, we want the kids to know enough to be able to, you know, follow control commands, but other than that, you know, it's there really is no limit to it. Kids come out here, boy, they have a great time. It's pretty fun too. You know, getting kids out here and getting their feet off the ground. A lot of adults haven't been hang gliding ever, and now you get kids out here that are 4 years old out here doing it, and parents are taking pictures, and the kids are hooping and hollering. It's an amazing thing. The kids that we've seen out here, we've had a few of them come back after they've gotten up to the point where they weigh enough to take a regular lesson and continue on taking lessons after that too. So kids lessons are fun.